Hey, welcome to Hear Us Out. I'm Paul,
And I'm Patrick.
and tonight it's movie news roundup. Weehaw!
For March 2023. This year is kicking along. We're ending the first quarter of the year. And finally, we've had a load of movies and stuff come out. The Oscars are in the rearview mirror, Paul. The big load of movies that they've released have now come with a big load of trailers for the next round of movies that are going to be released.
Yeah.
And we're really starting to look at that. Well, we used to talk about it before the Darkest Timeline, the summer release schedule, the summer blockbusters.
Yeah, we're going to start getting even more of them as they kind of get planned out and moved along. So I'm excited to see what the summer kind of plans out to be, because there's some great films that are already being released, and there's some great films that should be released this year. So I'm really excited for this.
Well, I'm just checking our comments and I see Pop Culture's managed to catch us on his lunch break. Great to see you again, my friend. Hope all's going well at work. And hey to One Brew. Good to see you too, man. All right, and I'll get it out there. We're going to cover a load of stuff, but if there's any news that you've heard this month that's entertainment related that you want us to talk about, just drop it in the live chat now.
Yeah, do. And we'll comment on us, we'll talk about us, what's good, and yeah, it'll be fun. Without further ado, I can't say any words properly today. Let's kick into some of the news stories of this month. What would you like to kick off first? Anything there?
Let's go with the top of your list, Paul. What is at the top of your list? No particular order matters.
My top of my list is that Ripley Scott has been planning out the new Alien franchise and everything like that. With Covenant and everything, but he's decided to let someone take a shot at something, which is a little standalone Alien film, which is and I'm going to butcher the name, Fidel of Alvarez.
Oh yeah, Fede Alvarez.
Yeah,
yes.
He's going to take on a standalone Alien film that's going to host a whole bunch of different xenomorphs and everything. It's going to be set on a planet rather than in space, which is going to be once again intriguing. Covenant was kind of the mix of the two, mostly on the planet though. So, but it's supposedly a standalone movie outside of kind of the Prometheus Covenant kind of, I guess, storylines.
Good. He says from the back row of the movie theater, do that, do more of that. I'm all for more aliens and alien stuff. I just need the quality to go back up the way rather than keep going down the way.
Yeah, that's it. Alien is a quintessential just monster movie. It's just, some horror monster movie stuff, monster survival kind of thing. So let's just go back to that. Let's not kind of, muddy the waters a little bit more with, the evolution of it and the engineers and all that kind of stuff. Like, let's just go back to...
Getting lost in the lore, Paul. Getting lost in the lore. Haunted house in space. Alien. Action haunted house on a planet. Aliens. Alien 3. Monster movie in a prison with some social commentary. All good. Then once we got to Prometheus...
Prometheus had a lot of potential, but it really...
So did I, and look how I turned out.
And then Covenant kind of Prometheus had a lot of potential. Then we saw it. Then we watched. Then Covenant was suggested, and the trailer had the look, the trailer had the look of it all, and but it ends up just falling flat again, which is sad. So I don't know what's going to go on now.
Well, look, you and me, Paul, we're not hiding under any rocks here that we're Alien fans or Aliens fans. So I wish everybody well. Anything that somebody's going to do, I wish them well. Because I know a lot of people's thing is leave it alone, let it die. You could say the same thing about Top Gun. And look at Top Gun 2 Maverick.
But that's
if it's done right, it's done right.
Well, that's the thing. I do think that Ripley Scott has gotten into the weeds, as you said, of the lore kind of stuff trying to explain the evolution of the xenomorphs and all that kind of stuff. Which is, but we're hoping, this is just returns of form, kind of basic. This the basic, if I'm allowed to swear, the basic bitch stuff. Just aliens, like infecting people and killing people and all that kind of stuff. Just fun little stuff.
Yeah. Well, Paul, there's a couple of comments in. I'll take the first one if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Pop raises the Jonathan Majors arrest, and Brian asked who is he and what's he allegedly done. You know what, Brian? He is Kang in the latest Marvel thing, so he's playing their big bad. He's currently starring opposite Michael B. Jordan in Creed 3. So if you've seen any of those ads, there he is. Now, what about his arrest allegations, his charges now, not charges, etc.? Do you know what? And I talked to Paul about this before the show in case it came up, and that's why we have the image ready to go. He is a famous person that may or may not have done something. And that's the same as all the non-famous people that may or may not have done something. I don't think we should talk about it. We talked about Ezra Miller only when it came to the point that there was actually effect on whether or not movies were going to be released. Right now, this Jonathan Majors thing, it's a person out there. Things are happening. That's not... It's entertainment news because they're in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
But until it starts directly affecting something else, I think we're going to treat it like that's somebody's life, because that's exactly what it is. But luckily, pop culture followed up with one that's, I think, incredible news: the idea that Ridley Scott's doing a Gladiator 2. Because for all the Irish people out there, if you ask any guy on the street in Ireland, what's your favorite movie, or name some of your favorite movies, Shawshank Redemption and Gladiator will always come up.
Yeah.
If they are 35 years or older, I don't know what happened. It's like Red Hot Chili Peppers for all you international folks. Red Hot Chili Peppers have more fans per capita in Ireland than anywhere else in the world. And nobody really knows why. And it's the same thing with Gladiator. It's a popular film around the world, but for some reason, it came out at a time where it was given to every Irish guy and said, just if you want to be the standard guy here, you like Gladiator. And don't get me wrong, I love it. I think it's a great film.
Yeah, it is very much that. Which is like it does seem to be a staple of the kind of the 35 kind of thing. It's also the song. It's also definitely the song that everybody's
good rendition.
Like,
actually, we better be careful. We might get done by the algorithm now for copyright.
I am that famous person who sung that song, which is I think that's also that song. That song is also massively which is liked by many people because of the probably imagery that it portrays within the movie. I do know that there's some news coming out soon, which goes, I think Paul Mescal has been added to the roster, kind of thing, and I think a couple of other people have been also approached and everything. So that's I don't have any imagery or anything like that. I didn't know we would be talking about it, but there seems to be it's a Ridley Scott Gladiator 2 movie. It's gonna be a star-studded cast. So
yeah. He'll get some financial backing for that one. The first one made a few dollars. So thanks for that shout, Pop. Anything else that comes up as we're talking about anything we're talking about, feel free to get in there. Pop, you've also got one. Sorry. We'll be interested to watch the major story because how Disney will deal with it compared to DC. Yeah, again, I don't see them as analogs just yet because not all the details are out there. And like I say, for now, it's somebody else's life. So we'll wait and see. So, Paul, what have you got next up on the list?
Well, why don't we go to DC? Yeah, and talk about Shazam.
Talk about Shazam 2, which I saw. To paraphrase some Ghostbusters, I saw, and I liked it. I liked it quite a lot. In fact, I didn't maybe like it as much as the first.
Okay,
but I have a big soft spot for Shazam. I thought, like we've always said, Paul, one of the greatest Christmas movies never not released at Christmas. Idiots. I don't know what they were thinking. This one, there's no such problem of time of year. No spoiler warning there. Have you seen it yet? Actually,
I haven't, no, but I am like, yeah, I have to do essentially a big, huge marathon of movies within the cinema, so which I can't wait, which is going to be great. So I'm just going to bang out a bunch of movies that I need to, probably starting with D&D, which is going to be happening this weekend. So that's
there
going to
you
be fun.
go. Dungeons and Dragons on its way to
Yeah.
you. Look forward to a special episode next week. By the way, oh, cat coming out of bag there. But yeah, just back to DC and their winding up the DCEU, which was the DC Extended Universe, which was your Wonder Woman's, your Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, all that good stuff, Aquaman, and heading into the James Gunn, Peter Safran era of just the DCU, which is not going to be a DC Extended Universe anymore. They're just going to go with an easier 3-letter acronym, DCU. This is on the way out. So Shazam is on that way out, but particularly because Black Adam came out. And Black Adam, for anybody who doesn't know, had a little guy called Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it. He has not come out of this looking great, because there's been lots of talk and lots of confirmation of some talk that he saw himself as being, build your stuff around me. I'm, he had Henry Cavill show up. Spoiler warning. Henry Cavill and he were managed by the same person up until recently. And there was a whole Black Adam will fight Superman. This is going to be, put your money behind me. This is the way it's going to go. So much so that he didn't show up in the Shazam movie, then didn't want to show up in Shazam 2, and didn't really think that Zachary Levi or Shazam was a big enough deal to have him there. Yet, Paul, what does Black Adam say to kind of transform himself also? And what's on his chest?
Yeah,
I believe the word is Shazam, and he also has a black version of the same lightning bolt chest thing.
That's the thing, is Black Bolt or Black Adam is essentially just the older version of Shazam we have now, Captain Marvel. That's the thing. Like in the comic books, they fight because essentially he's the evil version of Captain Marvel. So then it kind of changed it and everything like that, which is perfectly fine. That I'm happy that they did. So yeah, it's kind of weird to be saying that it's not good enough to be joining essentially what is the original source material kind of storyline of him being involved with Shazam or Captain Marvel. So I don't understand it. It's definitely kind of him trying to gap himself away from the rest of the DCU, apart from probably the even bigger heavy hitters. Even though Shazam has been one of the most well received of the DC original kind of series of movies. So
yeah, it's funny though, because it's over now. It's over. Yeah. The Black Adam didn't do the numbers it needed to do. There's rumors that Dwayne The Rock Johnson thought that he would be the one leading DC into its future, not just on screen, but also possibly background creative. And when they announced Gunn and Safran, that put kind of the final nail in all those coffins. Yeah. And I think I have no issue with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and I'm going to keep calling him Dwayne The Rock Johnson now. I like The Rock. He's all good by me. There may have been some mistakes made here that were unintentional. So what harm is done now is done. It looks like there's going to be no more Shazam. The director, who a lot of people know from his horror roots, won't be back. He's already said, hey, I'm glad to be getting out of this superhero business because the fans are kind of toxic. Hey, everybody, that's us. Let's stop being such toxic people.
Yeah.
So yes, please calm down. I'm kind of glad that this is going to get a refresh and hopefully get a clean enough break, although there is talk of Snyderverse. So whatever controversy Marvel will manage over the next 2 to 3 years, DC will definitely never fall behind in the controversy stakes, because they're actually setting themselves up to have internal and external conflict between the Snyder fans and the Gunn fans and the Rock fans and I don't know. The Henry Cavill fans? Who am I missing? There's a whole fan base.
Pretty much any of the actors from any of the major kind of characters is probably also in there. My thing is that I'm from the past. If you haven't seen our review of our series of the Joker, the Phoenix Joker standalone DC movie, You can check our videos and see my opinion kind of slowly grow and then change completely as I watch the film.
Oh, yeah.
Which has now made me like wiser. I'm going to wait and see what the James Gunn DCU kind of series of movies is going to be like before I pass judgment. I am going to mourn. Yeah, I am going to mourn the closing of the chapter of the DC movies that I enjoyed a lot and think that there was definitely issues with certain choices of directors for certain characters and stuff like that. And that's only just how they handled the overall films and stuff like that. Like Zack Snyder is I enjoy a lot of his movies, but I don't think he would have. I don't think he handled Superman that well. I don't think he was the right director for it. It's like documented by like most of our DCU movies. But
and it's at this point I kind of hand over to you, is because you're the resident expert when it comes to you're more ingrained in the DC lore also. So when you say he didn't handle Superman well, I kind of defer to you going, yeah, it didn't feel like it for me, but I think that view has a lot more cred coming from you as well. So
yeah, like there was an interesting argument online that I got involved in, which was that Superman isn't political, and everyone was saying that he was. And it's just like, he isn't. He's not political. He's essentially above it all. Not in a kind of like snobbery way. Like he is an ideal, essentially. If you really want to see like a really good way of portraying Superman, it's actually in one of the animated films, which is Superman versus the Four. Go watch that. You'll see how to handle Superman. And how the reasons why he is the way he is.
And if you want to see a political version of Superman, watch Watchmen.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, no, like as I said, I'm happy that they're clearing the board as well. I think that this is all good. I think that we need to give James Gunn's DCU kind of a chance, and
yep,
that's just the way it's going to go.
And Paul, before we move on to the next one, and then in 5 minutes take a quick ad break, I just want to call out some comments because I can't let it stand. The Rock is a terrible actor. Brian, who else do you know? And I mean this very seriously. He's not necessarily doing Michael Caine or Brendan Fraser work in the roles that he's in. He's actually quite good at doing that. It's like saying Arnold Schwarzenegger's a terrible actor. He was a great actor for what he was doing. And who else can give an eyebrow to an earthquake and kind of tell it to back off? If you haven't watched San Andreas, I dare you to watch it and not go, oh my God, he's actually given the ground a scowl, thinking that will get it to back off. Which I think was apex. That was peak Rock maneuver stuff. He'll give everything a dirty look like he's going to punch it. And then it was a case of the whole planet can just back off because Dwayne says settle. Yeah, Paul, so what would you like to move on to?
I'll go on to a quickie one kind of thing because it is my boy Del Toro. Del Toro's love passion project Frankenstein, which is, there is rumors currently that he's in the talks with Oscar Isaac, Andrew Garfield and Mia Goth. They have not been approached officially. This is the thing, but he has been in contact with them for the Frankenstein project. No major studio has taken it up yet, which is he's still writing scripts and stuff like that. But I think he's getting into the mind of my boy. He's currently writing the script, so obviously he is choosing characters and actors to then play those characters and seeing would they be interested in the in the script or in the movie before he kind of, I guess, finalizes the characters, which is his method of kind of having an idea of someone in his head to play the character and then writing them for that actor, which is great. So which is he's going on that way.
Well, the minute you said Mia Goth, I was going to say, well, you're there for Del Toro. I knew Brian was going to be there for Mia Goth because he recently watched back-to-back a bunch of films that she was in. And he's like, it was really good. Like, yep, Mia Goth. So, there's at least 2 tickets pre-sold.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think there's a third. Is there not? Is there not, Patrick?
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. Yes, definitely. Well, like Oscar Isaac's my, I'm actually, Andrew Garfield.
I know.
If not somebody that I have a bad word to say about at the moment.
If these 3 are involved in his in Del Toro's project Frankenstein, I'm gonna be thrilled because
Yeah.
like they're just all great actors, and
That's what a roster.
it's gonna be great. So that's
Yep.
my quickie
Looking
one.
forward to it.
Which is, do you have a quickie one that you want to bring up, or I can bring up another quickie one before?
No, I might take this chance to just say to everybody that we're going to be back after an ad break, because I think we should do it without being under too much pressure. And if you all stay with us, you will see us in probably less than 60 seconds. And you're going to get to hear about one of the great channels or some of our good friends that you should go and check out. So we'll see you on the other side.
See you later.
Before there was Stranger Things. Before there was Chris Pine. There was Homebrew Quest. Hang on, that doesn't make any sense. Let me start again. YouTube is great for watching Hear Us Out, but what if you'd like a bit of D&D in your life? Homebrew Quest are a bunch of brilliantly creative Irish folks playing a homebrew Dungeons & Dragons campaign inspired by Irish mythology. But even more inspired by the brews they're drinking in each episode. Ireland's supposed to be the land of saints and scholars, but it's also got drinkers and YouTubers, one of which might look a tad familiar. So get yourself over to Homebrew Quest and join the adventure. Links in the description down below, or search term Homebrew Quest. Tell them Hear Us Out sent you.
Hey, we're back. How's it going? So that was an advertisement for Homebrew. I wonder why we're doing that.
Yeah, well, there's a little movie coming out this weekend called Dungeons and Dragons, everybody. It's not quite March news, but it's going to feature in next month's news because we might be doing a little conversation about that movie with people who are experts in the subject. So just stay tuned and watch out for what we have coming up.
Yeah. I want to go to the comments there. Gav says, would love to see a Del Toro Resident Evil film. So would I. In fact,
So would I.
In fact, anything like there's a whole host. Silent Hill by Del Toro. You know.
Oh yeah.
Anything.
Do you know, he actually, I like where you are all going. You know what? I can take my money. I can buy into your clan right now. This is a good idea. These are good ideas, folks.
Like this, just there's a certain level, I guess, because you wouldn't want him to redo Insidious or something like that. You know,
No.
you want him more kind of to do monster films, kind of thing. So
I still, and I know it's been done recently, but I'd love somebody like Del Toro to have a go at a King style thing, like an It, or you know, that's a crossover I'd like to see. I'd love to see him take some famous material and put the Del Toro magic to it. I think that'd be really cool because I know you're a huge fan, Paul, but so am I. Just I'm not in your league. I think he brings an interesting voice to what he makes. And there's a bunch of stuff that's been done that needs to be redone with a better voice. And I'm not mentioning specific books or films, so I don't have to insult anybody in particular.
No, I get what you're saying. Like I think there is a level of kind of remakes that, or sorry, if they were going to do remakes of certain things, of certain franchises that would be in the wheelhouse of Del Toro's stuff, you might as well get Del Toro to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
although we'll see what he comes up with. So if he makes that Frankenstein movie, I'm all up about it. I will be there with bells on.
that's the thing.
So what have we got next, Paul? What would you like to load up?
Well, we've got plenty of stuff. Let's go for an old. Should we go for an old John?
And Johannes Wick. Yes.
Oh.
Johnny Wick, the man of the muscle car, as I like to think of him. Because John Wick not only knows how to shoot people, but he's also he has a couple of things that are very, very close to my heart. He loves dogs.
Yep.
I love dogs. He likes vehicles, particularly American muscle. I can agree with this.
Yeah.
And also, I'd really like to look that good in a suit.
I know.
And you know, people go, "Oh, look at him at his age." Get out of here! I want to talk to a 20-year-old that goes, "Yeah, John Wick, you know, brilliant." Like Keanu at his age. It's like, never mind that. He knows cooler than you at your age, pal.
Yeah.
He is ageless at the moment.
Vampire.
I'm not. I'm absolutely. He's sacrificing the good goats. I don't want to talk about John Wick because there's no spoilers or anything here, so don't worry about any of that. The reason John Wick's on here is it had a smash hit opening weekend. It's a chapter 4. It's the 4th in a series, which, you know, a lot of people, that's like, oh, action series, it's a lot of diminishing returns, things go downhill. And after Parabellum, the last one, I would have agreed with that.
Oh, yeah.
This one's a good one, though, folks. It's a very good one. And Donnie Yen is exquisite in it. It's just great across the board. Here's the thing. Why is it news? It's news because of all of the other properties that we're going to see. You're now in a Wickiverse, or a John Wickiverse, a Wii universe, a Juniverse. There's going to be a John Wick universe built. We've known about the Continental TV show for a while. We've known about the Ballerina movie for a while. There's a sequence in John Wick 3 where he goes to a place and there's an assassin ballet school type thing. Ana de Armas is already confirmed as getting to lead that particular side project. But since this massive success of John Wick 4, pretty much everybody else in the cast is being talked about as possibly getting a carry-on film somewhere. So we may see Lawrence Fishburne as the Barry King. There could be all sorts of side projects and extended universe stuff built out of this. Because let's face it, that's what companies want now.
Pretty much.
And I'm kind of there for it because 3 out of 4 films have been very good. That's a pretty good rate. I'll take 75%.
That's the thing, and I think there's a particular thing within Parabellum that made it worse. I think, like we've said that the second one is a great building upon the world kind of thing. The third one added something into the world which was just we didn't need, which I do think kind of because I think that at that point of redemption kind of arc, it kind of confused a lot of people. Whereas if you just continued on with the high table and stuff like that, it would have been really good. But I'm really interested in this. I love John Wick, which is, I think it's how you kind of how you continue on with an action film, which is just one long continuous story kind of thing, everyone leading into each other, and then continue on with evolving, developing the world.
And that's the great thing. It's called John Wick, but let's face it, out of the 4 stories, the 3 good ones, they did build a universe. It's like I always say with Star Wars. The reason Mandalorian's the best thing for me that Star Wars has done is because it managed to go, hey, you built a universe, great, I'm going to go and play somewhere else in it for a while. Yeah. And love it or hate it, by accident or on purpose, the John Wick films created a universe with the Continental Hotel, setting up rules for assassins, the high table, the clandestine organization, all the power struggles and structures and owing people things. They set up an awful lot of things that you don't need to base around Baba Yaga himself, John Wick. Yep. You don't need everything to be John Wick centric. So I'm down for this because what they created was interesting. I'm going to try not to say anything because I don't want to spoil the 4th movie.
Yeah.
But let's just say this could all have legs for a very long time and not just for the sake of money. I think there's a lot of good, creative films of artistic merit that are ready to come. And as far as action goes, John Wick 4 shows that they learned all their lessons from John Wick 3, and they essentially reverse engineered it to not make any of those mistakes again.
Good.
That means they're a learning computer, but they're a learning organism. So I would have hope for the other things that are being made.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I think you've nailed it on the head with the whole Star Wars analogy, which is the fact is that you've built this huge big universe, and I'm like that's a perfect one. Like, do go play in the universe that we've built, but move away from the original source, like not the original source material, but the original story, and tell something else. Tell something within the universe, within the rules, but somewhere else, which is great. And I hope they do that. And I do think that the Continental, which is one of the most interesting aspects to the whole. The Continental and its services is one of a really interesting world building kind of effect. So I'm really interested to see more of that.
Agreed. Sorry, I've just knocked my light up a bit. I saw the live feed. I think I'm looking a bit extra tan there. Yeah, guys, everybody out there, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone, if you have seen John Wick, let us know what you thought of it, because I'm dying to know what people think of John Wick, because it's not going to be for everyone. It certainly wasn't for the person in the theater beside me, who not only was climbing all over, they didn't enjoy violence, which is a tough thing to go to a John Wick film for. They also didn't enjoy the idea of not using their phone the whole way through the movie, and so much that I had to get up and move and sit somewhere else. Took a phone call, took an actual phone call, and instead of walking to the exit, walked to the other side of the room over to the wall and had the phone call.
Wow.
So yeah, I still really enjoyed the movie. That's how good it was.
Wow.
I was gonna try and John Wick that person with a popcorn cup. You know the way he's always inventively taking out a bad guy with like a stapler or something. I was thinking, how could a popcorn cup be used to deal with this person?
Yeah, pencil, straw,
straw. Yeah. Anyway,
which is with one universe starting, we might as well go on to another universe also starting with the Spider-Verse, which goes Spider-Verse across Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is the reason this is in, and we do understand that it is going to be coming out in summer. It seems like it's already the PR kind of marketing campaign is already revving up. The amount of information that's coming out at this point is unbelievable. That this is the Empire Strikes Back, which is a movie of the series, which is or of the trilogy, which just is like, I can't believe that they would say that. But
it's such a brave thing to say. That's why it's making me laugh. Is you don't call yourself Empire. It's one of those things.
Like, that's the thing. It's such a, because everybody out of the original 3 movies, everybody loves Empire.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's a great middle movie. So calling yourself the Empire of, like, or the Empire movie of this is just going to be an interesting kind of start. But yeah, no, we know that with several that we're going to be exploring kind of the webway network and stuff like that, with all the different Spider-Men and Spider-Women and everything like that. Reprising some roles of Gwen, obviously coming back. We have a new villain-esque person. We don't really know too much about them, kind of thing. But we also are sad that we will not be seeing a Spider Noir or Spider Pig, or several other people will not be returning. But
no more Spider-Ham.
There is rumors of a Spider Noir breakaway movie or TV series with Nick Cage voicing Spider Noir. So that's also interesting. That's an interesting kind of fact that might be coming out of it.
I'm not completely up on my my youth lingo of the day, but I believe the phrase is Nick Cage all the things. If I said that right, then everybody should understand. Nick Cage all the things. I'm down with like, I'm excited to hear more news about this, because I rate Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the first movie, incredibly highly still. I've rewatched it a bunch of times. It doesn't get worse.
No.
It's one of those things, it maintains its quality. So it wasn't just a trick. It wasn't just that it was how unique it was or how brilliant the cinema made it, which the cinema really does help it. It's a hell of a cinema movie. But yeah, it still feels fresh when I watch it now. So yeah, I'm pumped.
I can't wait. It's going to be real fun. Peter B. Parker is also coming back, which is very important, because he's one of the MVPs. But yeah, no, the reason we just choose it is just it's very unusual for the PR kind of marketing campaign to start revving up this early, unless they've got like something big to announce closer to the movie itself. So keep an eye on
maybe
on the
Miles
space.
Morales is running for president, Paul, because that seems to be the thing now. You start about a year and a half early, so I don't know. Maybe that's why Spider-Ham can't be in the movie. Going to be running for office.
There is a rumor.
Tell me I didn't accidentally work out what kind of weird world we live in, where there is going to be somebody who's changed the name to Clark Kent and is running for Superman and president.
No, so Shamik Moore, who plays or voices Miles Morales, there's a rumor that he might play. Now it's a rumor, all right. So we're not going to break any kind of little banks. It's a rumor that he might play Miles Morales within the actual live action MCU.
Oh yes, yeah,
Yeah,
that crossover that would work for me.
yeah.
That would definitely work for me.
That there is rumors that because he's you know he's playing the character in one way that he might be the perfect person to play it in another. It is a rumor.
There is no fourth wall, folks. It's entertainment. That's why people should be able to break from one thing to another, and characters should be able to do it too.
That's it. So I'd be very interested in seeing that happen as well, because I think Miles Morales would be a great Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, Shamik Moore, which goes like, I don't know, sandwich, I don't know, snacks. They're all snacky. They're all snacky. They're all dreamy.
And this is when I stay quiet until you run out of you run the rope that you're now climbing down. You get to the end and there's no more.
But yeah, so where would you like to move? Would you like to move to more Marvel?
Well, I think there's one little. We don't have any imagery for this, but Miss Alonso would essentially, and it's not going to be that exciting for people. So I just want to give it a quick mention. Marvel let somebody go or fired somebody. Veronica Alonso, who's an executive producer. You would have seen her name on everything since like the Avengers. And she was part of the Get It Done kind of executive team, let's say. So she would have been a taskmaster pushing people like the special effects houses to meet the demands that Marvel had. A key role, essentially. And when the parting of the ways had been announced a couple of weeks ago, everybody's like, oh, that's it. Bob Iger's took the knife out and he's going to start cutting heads, and Kevin Feige's next, and they're going to have a clear out, and it's, Marvel is DC now, and there's going to be perpetual turnover after 15 years of stability, whatever. Well, the update to that particular kerfuffle in the last few days seems to be that there were more logical reasons for the parting of ways. She was involved in as a producer on another movie, and that was contractually not the right thing to be doing. So it's all just business. And the reason I bring this up at all is when you say Marvel, it's interesting to see where things are going to go from Disney, let's say not the Marvel level. I think Disney are in for an interesting year or two, because I think we all know that there's either, wherever you're sitting right now, there's either a recession happening, has happened, or is about to happen. And I think Disney are probably looking at their strategy, and Disney Plus may not have worked out exactly the way they thought. They're spending a lot of money, but they're going to be looking for a new business strategy around it. And part of that is going to involve consolidation and possibly even giving away Hulu. For those that don't know Hulu here in Europe, because it's not as famous, it's not a separate entity as much. You get it as part of, a lot of its content is part of Disney Plus as Star right now.
Yeah.
But you can, people have been watching Hulu in particularly stateside for years. And there's a whole thing that Disney are part owners of Hulu, along with Comcast, who own Universal. And without getting into the who owns who of things, I'll cut to the quick. There's a chance that there could be a little bit of a sale and a swap where Disney divest themselves from Hulu in exchange, for money, etc. But in exchange for also getting rights to the Hulk and Namor. Weirdly enough, because I didn't realize until recently that Universal have the distribution rights for Hulk and Namor.
Yeah.
Which is the answer to that age-old question back when they were making Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. It's like, why didn't Hulk get a movie? Much like Spider-Man with Sony, you've got a Hulk Universal relationship. We've covered it on the channel before. But maybe tidying that up as part of a deal here, it has been floated as a news story. Do I think that's going to happen? I actually don't think that's going to happen, because I don't think the Hulk, and this is a terrible thing to say, Paul, but you're going to back me up, I think, because I don't think the Hulk is as hot a property cinematically right now as he was at the time of the Avengers, because of Professor Hulk and because of a few other things. I think if this had been a few years ago, Disney would have been jumping at it. A few years from now, they may decide to do it. I think right now, with the state of the MCU, I don't think their priority is going to be giving away any assets looking for Hulk. I think it's a news story that's maybe 3 or 4 years too early. That's my guess.
So I agree in the sense that I don't think they'll give Hulu away. I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they'll give it away for Hulk, particularly. I do think that potentially on what project they would want to do with the Hulk, that would generate a lot of interest and stuff. Like if they were to do World War Hulk, forget about it. It would be probably one of the biggest movies within the MCU. Backlog of coming out. So yeah, I don't think Hulu would be exchanged for the Hulk. I do think that Universal and Marvel will probably come into some kind of agreement like Sony has with Spider-Man, and Namor has also appeared in or no, he hasn't appeared yet. No, he has.
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, Wakanda Forever. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, there'll be deals and stuff
but
like
not
that.
as a standalone movie.
Yeah, but there'll be deals about maybe standalone Hulk movie with Marvel and Universal kind of together. So
yeah, and look, I don't want to get too nerdy about it, but pop culture, thank you very much because you're giving me an excuse to be nerdy, so appreciate that. Commenting that Disney with Iger at the head is trying to course correct. Exactly. Yeah. Disney's been run by a Bob for a very long time. It was Bob Iger for a very long time, and for a very short time it was, and we covered this on the channel, it was Bob Chapek. But with how things have gone and how the world has turned and how streaming has been a massive success, but not a financial model in the way they expected it to be, you've got Bob Iger back in charge, really grabbing hold of the tiller. And not just course correcting, but I think steadying the ship. That's why with the previous story about Victoria Alonso, anybody who gets let go or leaves Marvel right now or anywhere in Disney, they're going to go, that's Iger. Iger did that. He shot them out of a cannon. That's him cutting loose weight. It's not always going to be the case, but I think stories like this in the Hollywood press are going to be generated for the rest of this year. There's going to be a lot of speculation based on probably conversations that happen, but not conversations that were actually ever going to lead to a conclusion. So I'm sure this idea has been floated in boardrooms, but I don't know if those ideas are actually concrete in any way, let's say.
Yeah, I also I do think that everyone's going to jump on the Iger kind of moving around, because I do think there's a combination of Iger coming back and the Marvel movies not being as great as they once were. And
God, you're polite tonight. So Marvel tanking and becoming a bit crap. There you go. That's the other reading of the situation.
Yeah, I am trying to be a little bit nice. Mediocre kind of movie releases that have been coming out of the Marvel universe, which, because everybody's going to be jumping on the fact that Iger is correcting that by any. If you see you'll see a cameraman being fired, you'll just everybody's going to be just I bet you he films Quantum Mania. Or he was the main, cinematographer, and it's just he's just a cameraman, and it just turned out that his contract was up. So I do think people are going to be jumping the gun with a lot of things that are going to be coming out of Disney about the Iger kind of return and
he's
Marvel media.
He's definitely pulling levers of power in the background, but I think the press are going to love to overreact.
Oh yeah,
and they do need him. I believe in Bob as much as I believe in Feige.
That's the thing. I think that was a dream combination of kind of realizing that the creatives can create financial viable universes. So I think that's just the way that it's gonna return to. So we might get our gap. We might get what we've asked before. We might get a break within the Marvel universe as they reorganize and kind of
slow it down, take a breath,
kind of thing. So we might see that soon. But yeah,
cool. So what else have you got, Paul?
So I've got 2 honorable mentions left, which is so I'm going to break into those. Wes Anderson has decided to return to America in his next film, called Asteroid City, which is the trailer was released yesterday, I believe, or today.
Yesterday, and it's delightful.
Yeah, so it includes Tom Hanks, which is just fantastic, kind of thing. So we thought I just
Includes
mentioned it.
everybody.
Yeah. Hmm?
Yeah, and Paul, it's a great honorable mention because everybody should go and watch that trailer and realize that Jason Schwartzman is great. And you're every time you see him, you ask, why doesn't he do more? Why isn't he in more? But you also watch the trailer and go, well, could that be more Wes Anderson to give it the Al Chandler line reading? It smells through the screen of a Wes Anderson movie. I hope it's a good one.
The color palette immediately is Wes
I
Anderson.
know.
I love this is one thing I love about Wes Anderson. He has such a distinctive style and feel that you could blind test people with certain movies, and you would know for a fact that if you knew Wes Anderson in any way, that you would be like, that's a Wes Anderson film. We could show clips of several different
Yeah.
movies, and I swear that you'd be able to pick out the Wes Anderson clips. Like,
Well, we did talk about the creator's fingerprint before, that you can watch a movie afterwards and go, that was Spielberg, or that was trying to be Spielberg, or whatever. With Wes Anderson, usually you can just take one frame and show it to somebody like, oh, right, okay, yeah, stylized in his way. That's kind of it.
yeah,
I'm down with it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It has a massive cast list, which I think he can make work. And not all his movies have been hits for me, so I hope this is back on the upswing.
that's the thing. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing the rest of it. Which is Gavin has said, I seen Tom Hanks' costume and immediately was just like, that's Wes Anderson. It really does look like a Wes Anderson. That's the thing. Yeah, everybody, no matter what. I saw, this is the thing. Is
Watch the trailer. It is ridiculous how Anderson-y it is, or how Wesy is.
I saw the top image that you see there, the asteroid city kind of crater thing. I didn't see that it was like by Wes Anderson. I just saw that and was just like, that's a real Wes Anderson look there. And then it was just like, he comes back to America. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Got it. So I thought I'd mention this because the trailer dropped, which is, and then another one of my honorable mentions, which is another film, which a franchise that we've also mentioned several times. Mike Flanagan owns the rights to pretty much Dark City or Dark Tower, Stephen King's famous fantasy epic book series. We saw a really bad adaptation, sadly, with Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba, which was sad. They're great actors, but they got a script that they didn't deserve within the Dark Tower. He's decided that he wants to expand it even more and bring in the Doctor Sleep characters into it as well. It really feels like he's building up a big kind of story towards the universe and everything like that. So as more and more stories come out, this is the thing. So we don't have any conclusive information about a Dark Tower series or a Dark Tower movie series coming out, but as more and more information comes out about what Mike Flanagan wants and the Dark Tower series and stuff like that, it's going to generate more hype and everything like that for fans, especially since we're coming to the end of epic fantasy kind of shows that we've all been watching recently. So this is the next big thing. So hopefully this comes out. And that's my
Well, Paul, I only have one honorable mention, my friend, and most people will say this isn't really news. Well, it is to me, because we've all known that we're getting a new Daredevil TV show. So a brief history in street level heroes for you folks. Netflix had Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. Then they did Defenders. But in amongst all that was my favorite, Punisher. They did the Punisher, and they did the Punisher great justice thanks to one John Bernthal. Just some of the all-time great casting.
Yeah.
Now, Daredevil's getting a comeback. We know that, and fingers crossed. Was really, really hoping that we might get some of the others back, particularly Jessica Jones, which looks like there's a chance. But I really liked all of the Iron Fist cast except for the lead. So, but
it's so bad.
Let's let that water pass. But there's one bit of casting that I really didn't want to ever have changed, and that's the Punisher. And it looks pretty much confirmed news from about a week ago. Yeah, John Bernthal's going to be reprising his role as the Punisher in the new reimagined reboot continuation of Daredevil. So Daredevil's going to continue but be different. So it's going to be interesting to see what phrase we can come up with a continuation that's also a soft reboot. I don't care. Is it reimagining? Because
I think
a
that's
continued
the softest,
imagining.
Yeah, it's the softest reboot thing we can think of as a reimagining.
Yeah. Well, whatever kind of gentle rolling they're doing to this, having Johnny B back, I'm here for it. I would love to see the success that they had with the Netflix series happen again, but I would particularly love to see an expansion of that Punisher character, because I think, interestingly, there was more to tell when that all ended.
Couldn't agree more. I do think that they were going to a harder place than they probably will when they bring them into the main kind of like MCU kind of series. So that's my only thing.
Yeah.
But as long as we get some remnants of what we got previous, I don't think we're gonna have a problem. I don't think, like, you know, just because he kills maybe, you know, 3 less people, you know, I'm not gonna be like, that's not the Punisher I know. I'm gonna be more like, just happy to be here, happy to have what I have, you know, kind of thing. So I'd be interested.
Similarly with Jessica Jones, while we're making wishes, I don't mind if they have to lighten or change characters, if they can continue with the important, the spirit, let's say, or the core of what they managed to do with the first. Again, Daredevil can work and be different, but if they carry over the right things and change some things that are not fundamental, then I'm all about it. Change as much of the story as you want.
That's the important thing. Yeah, like take the core elements and what made it good by understanding the character and understanding the story, and then bring it over. And then if you have to smoothen out some of the edges and stuff like that, that's fine.
So be it.
Yeah,
so be it. All right, Paul. Well, that's our news roundup for March. I think we're going to have our little production meeting. We're going to be talking about how this show works going forward, as we do every week when we talk. And I think, asking you guys to comment and maybe supply some news stories that you want us to talk about is something that we briefly mentioned. So in the coming month, if something catches your eye in the news, feel free to, retweet it, DM us, send us a message, drop a comment. Even in one of our other videos, we'll catch it and find it. Drop us a mail. But yeah, reach out to us if there's something that's happening in the next month of April, and we'll put it on our list for the end of the month.
Yeah, that sounds great. Which goes, also comment down below if there's any more stories within March that you want us to maybe comment on or anything like that. Which goes, but yeah, this has been real fun. I hope.
Most importantly, hit like, everybody. Yeah. The Google thing. That's how the YouTube algorithm works. I'm not asking for subscribers or shares or anything anymore. Apparently, just like the damn thing, and maybe the system will work and share us with more people. Thanks.
Wow.
I know my algorithm begging has become just like, ugh. But yeah,
we all know the deal. Like
folks.
us. If you dislike us, also dislike us. That'll be fine. Some interaction is really good. Let us share us out and everything like that. But we're not gonna. You're here. That's it. You know. But yeah, no. Do share any movie or any news things in April and stuff. Which we'll gather them all up, and you'll hear our takes on us and everything. So thanks very much for watching. Which is, I've been Paul,
and I've been Patrick.
And we've been Hear Us Out.
We'll catch you next time.
See you later. Watch the D&D movie. Watch the D&D movie and come back next week.
Yes.
See you later. Bye.